Possibility thinking will make you say, yes, I can. And if you're a business owner or you are a pastor, you will be able to say, yes, we can, because you're going to mobilize men and women to walk around with you to achieve that, the possibility thinking. So when you constantly ask, why not? Instead of just asking why, you keep asking why not. That releases your mind to soar above the current reality. I like the way George Bernard Shaw puts it. George Bernard Shaw said, there are those that look at things the way they are and they ask why. That's what everybody does. But what makes a visionary to be different is that it goes beyond asking why, and it goes ahead to dream of things that never were and ask, why not? And that's a challenge to the majority of humanity. But of course, this requires a great deal of knowledge and information. And of course, a spirit of adventure. In order for you to be in search of a vision, these two will be very, very important: knowledge, information, and then the adventurous spirit, that daring spirit to see something new come on board. Now you're beginning to see why so many people are going to die without being visionaries. It's not because God hates them. It's not because society is just so hard on them. It's not because somebody is following them from their village. It's just because they choose to see what they see. They choose to think the way they think. And they choose the knowledge and information that they have and choose to use it the way they like. And then they lack the spirit of adventure. And don't tell me, no, I'm just a plain man. I don't have a spirit of adventure. You don't have a spirit of adventure because you do not think your life is worthwhile. We're going to look at that. So you're going to ask who? You need to define yourself. What's my business? What's my life? What gaps am I filling? Do I have any distinctive features? Do you really think you have an edge over competition? Is there something that you have that nobody else possesses? Now, is somebody looking at me and saying, no, I don't have anything special, right? There are about 9 billion people on the earth. And guess what? There are no two people with the same thumbprint, meaning that God created each of us distinctly. And if he creates us distinctly, with every distinction is certain abilities that are unique. And there are areas in which all of us are unique. And of course, that is something that a great deal of training and exposure can do to assist us to be able to know who exactly we are and what we are here for and why. As a person, I keep asking myself, why am I here on earth? As a businessman, I ask, why am I in business? What's your real motivation? What are you out to achieve? If you have your challenges which are going to come, will your why keep you in business? Will you still be alive because of the passion that you have, the understanding that you have of who you are and why you are here on earth? There is a reason why I will not take my life, even though I've had a lot of challenges in life. I have experienced business failures. I have been embarrassed a number of times, by people who expected so much from me and I couldn't deliver. And it looked like the ground should open and just swallow me. But I never imagined taking my own life because this life is too worthwhile to be taken. And no challenge is too strong for me to make me to lose my faith and my direction and my sense of purpose and sense of direction. So then you need to ask, why not? What are the possibilities available to me? Even if they are remote now, even if you can't see them, but in your faintest imagination, you just think of, oh my God, I'm able to do that. Do you know you can fan that little flame and you can make it a vision that will significantly impact your community, your family, your society, your church, your your business. So what are those possibilities? Are they enough to keep you in business or to keep you alive? In the last 35 years of my life, I've never woken up on the wrong side of the bed, the so-called wrong side of the bed. The reason is that there is something to look towards. There is a project. There is passion for something. There is a new skill I'm learning. There is something else I'm trying to do. There is a network I'm building. There is somebody I like to connect to. There is a trip I want to embark upon. There is a city I like to visit. Are these engaging enough to motivate you? For businesses, businessmen have learned to create environment, create creative environment, so that it will be easy for them to be able to run their businesses effectively. So what do? They know their workforce well. They understand what motivates their workforce. And so they're eager to help the workforce to have those things that they really desire, so that they can be creative, so that they can be able to deliver on the promise they make to the organization. And then such organizations do a lot of team bonding within as well as outside the company. And this helps a great deal for people for barriers to be broken, among people. And once those walls are pulled down, it will be easier for them to communicate effectively. And in the process of communication, they stimulate a great deal of creativity. Of course, freedom of expression, the ability for individuals to be able to express themselves without recourse to punishment, sanction from the staff, from the management, for them to be able to say, I don't believe this is what we should do. I don't believe this is the best course of action. I think the managing director overstepped his boundaries by taking this course of action. I believe that we are allowing politics to debar us from taking advantage of other opportunities that are ahead of us. And I know that in most African nations, this is not and Asian countries too, the respect that you have for the managing director, the owners of the company, is so much that we dare not speak against them. I know it's some kind of vulnerability that a lot of us are not used to, but that's also the reason why our creativity has not been entrenched, the spirit of creativity has not been entrenched the way it is. Have you observed what banks are doing these days in the last couple of years, maybe about a decade? They are pulling down walls, and then you are able to see the branch manager, right then at the time you enter the hall, because the branch manager is at the back, and usually maybe the operations manager now. It didn't used to be that. When I was younger, for you to see the operations manager, the accountant, you have to go into a room. So the manager didn't have an idea of what was going on outside. So if the tellers were misbehaving, there's no way he will know or she will know. It's a different ball game now. I could see that we're using a lot of open floor plan, so that the level of interaction would be higher, and then you'll be able to, if you have an idea, you'll be able to walk up to whoever you need to give the idea to, because the idea doesn't give you time frame, and it doesn't tell you the time I'm going to be available for you. So when the time occurs, it's either you write it down or you quickly spool it out. Even when you have to have a floor plan, that's some kind of vulnerability to a lot of managers. They think, oh my God, everybody will know what I'm doing. Supposing I'm doing something that is inimical to the progress of the organization, these guys will see me. So for that reason, people still want to build walls around themselves, and that's really tough. And I've seen some churches do that too, where it becomes easy to be able to see the pastor. You know that you are seeing the pastor. It doesn't mean that you will still be able to see him, because you still have to go through a process. But at least you can see that this man, this big man, I still can see him. I still can sight him. That's him sitting down somewhere, rather than for him to be at one top level that you can't touch at all. Now, all this vulnerability, what does it do to us? I like what Brian Brown said. It's that vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. So the vulnerability that you and I hate passionately, because it leaves us outside of our comfort zone, and it makes us to look as if, we're about to be bounced off, is exactly what we need in order to enhance innovation, creativity, as well as change. So what else do we need to do? We need to respond positively to failure. I don't know whether you've heard the story of a company that guy took a decision which was backed by management, and they lost like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the guy went up to the managing director with his letter written, and he says, I have done incalculable damage to the organization. I'm resigning. And the managing director looked at him, said in the face, and said, now, can you tell me what next project you will be embarking upon? And this company will be willing to back it up, because only those who have failed enough, long enough, can succeed. That's a positive response to failure. And then, of course, we need to celebrate people who succeed. We need to support your work, because when you have people who are creative working for you, like you see these guys who are keyboardists in churches, and then you have people that are valuable, that are creative. You just can't pick it. And because of their creativity, they have a lot of drawbacks emotionally. They may have a lot of challenges emotionally. And so you need to be there for them, asking for their welfare and ensuring that, you are there for them, to assist them to be the best. And they won't forget you, because they will be there to deliver to the organization. And of course, you need to create learning opportunities for advancement, for them to be able to, expand their horizons and be able to move. Of course, there are companies all over the world that are doing this. So it's not a rocket science. We have seen organizations, who have perfected these art, and we have seen the level of creativity that is difficult to. A number of times I've been in the US when Apple was launching a new product, and I'd imagine people staying days near the stores to be the first set of people to buy Apple product with their money. Now wondering, what's so special about Apple? So, you know what they said? Here is to the crazy ones, the rebels, those who see things differently, because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. The crazy ones. And look at what was Disney wrote on their studio. We allow no geniuses around our studio. We want crazy people rather than geniuses, not those who made first class, are so arrogant and proud, think they know it all. Not the guy with vast experience who has seen it all. We want some crazy guys who want to come with crazy ideas. We need to articulate it. How do we articulate it? Somebody said, make your vision so clear that your fears become irrelevant. When you make your vision to be clear, then your fear would be irrelevant. You won't feel that fear that is intimidating to you at the moment. Good articulation gives you focus, gives you energy, and gives you enthusiasm. If you articulate it well, you wake up in the morning and you will punch the air. You'll be ready to go. It must be easy to understand, easy to remember, easy to transmit to other people. It must be exciting, something engaging, something that your staff or your church members will see, or your family members will see, or your community members you see if you're a leader in your community, and they will say, wow, nobody has ever thought about that. I remember my community where I was chairman for 4 years, in the same community that the Nobel laureate, Wole Soyinka is, and like scores of professors and scores of permanent secretaries, commissioners, and so on and so forth. And I was chairman of the community for about 4 years. And I just woke up one morning and I said, in 3 weeks, I believe we can establish an estate tax. And everybody looked at me and said, estate tax. And then before you knew it, it became a chorus, estate tax. I said, we will need about 2 million naira to start. And we're going to make it like you subscribe to it and then you get benefits from it, because we're not going to run this at a loss. We raised 2/3 of the money right there. And by the following day, we were done. It has to be exciting to people. Then it has to be worthwhile. It has to be something they feel is worthwhile, like a change, from the status quo. Like reduction of accidents on the roads, like, reduction of incidents of kidnapping. How do we secure the nation better? I'm going off the business. But these are issues that we need to look at. I'd like you to look at a couple of articulation here, just so that they will help you. Look at that of Microsoft. Empower every person and every organization on the planet to be able to achieve more. Look at that of Tesla, to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. And we want to be in the nick of it. Look at Sony, to be a company that inspires and fulfills your curiosity. Everything can be covered under that. It's amazing what they've been able to do with, or that of Facebook, to give people the power to share and make the world more open and connected. The more articulate it is, the better. Then you've got to see it. You've got to deploy all your 5 senses to be able to see what you want to achieve. You must like touch it, to feel it, see it, hear it, All the 5 senses must be at work, because these 5 senses are the windows to your thoughts. And your thoughts are windows to your mind. So you really want to mobilize all the 5 senses. You smell the end that you want to see. You touch it. Some people will even walk physically to the places where they want to be, or the kind of company they want to build, or the kind of nation that they want to have, and they walk just to have a feel of what it is. And what they are doing is that they are giving a great deal of information to their senses, and then stuffing their thoughts with the level of pragmatic and exciting thoughts that will inform the development of their minds. It's an amazing journey. And people want to see, they act as if the desired future were here already. Like a man who is willing to take the family to the next level, walk up to the wife and said, hey, I will need a special meal today. And the wife said, why so? Because I see you in the next 10 years, giving me so much time, so my eating so much priority, that because you're going to be grateful that you're married to me. I hope that will not be out of arrogance, but it will be out of the desire to act out what you believe that you will be like in the next, couple of years by reason of the vision that you can see. Then you use a lot of self-talk to reinforce your vision. I hope you know that before we talk to others, we talk to ourselves. In fact, research shows that we speak between 150 and 250 words a minute, but we think between 400 and 800 words a minute. For those of you who read the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And that's amazing that you have a huge processor of words, of thoughts, of ideas in the inside of you. Woe betides you if you do not speak the right kind of words to yourself that will encourage you, that will build up your capacity on the inside of you, and that will allow you to say words out which are in tandem with your dreams and your visions. So self-talk is you talking to yourself. I mean, in the past, we used to think that they are mad people who talk to themselves, but you and I know that one of the greatest ways in which you can see your vision is to keep saying it to yourself. Hey, BIODUN, it's time for you to rise up. You have a great day ahead of you, and you have a lot of work to do. You remember in 20 years you will become the issue. You remember in 20 years you're building this kind of, you are doing this, you are doing that, and every day counts towards that. That would be enough for you to rise up with gusto and go ahead and achieve and do great things, and then constantly paint and relate to pictures of a desired end. So what do? You can do a lot of things for yourself. Why do you think it's important for us to see? Because limitations answer only to imaginations. The limitations we see in our nations today, the limitations we see in our businesses, the limitations we see in our families, in our lives, they answer to only imaginations. Otherwise, we're going to be there and nothing is going to move unless we move them. What is yields only to what is imagined. I like what Albert Einstein. I should be in love with Albert Einstein because he was a scientist and he did a lot to help the field of science and engineering. He said imagination is more important than knowledge. There are so many knowledgeable people, book people in our nations, but according to him, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress, giving birth to evolution. So what do you need to do? Stick notes or pictures in places you frequent to remind yourself of the vision. Put it on the freezer, put it on television, put it near your bed, put it as a marker in your Bible, put it in your favorite novel, or manual, whatever it is, where you're going to be able to see it and put it in form of picture of what is going to be like in future. I just hope that somebody in this nation will paint the picture of the cities, what our cities will be like in 20 years. I could see somebody do that, some years ago about the city of Lagos, the kind of city of my dream. And then you look at it and you want to actualize this as God gives you the grace to do. Meditate on it. Picture it in your mind. Live with it. I hope you know, ladies and gentlemen, that the bed is not for sleeping. And the night is not only for snoring. All right, when the lights are out and it is quiet out there, this might be the time for you to lay on your back as you stare into the ceiling, you dream away, meditating and picturing in your mind those things that you want to achieve. You're not going to be the only one to see it. You're going to let the others see it as well. Because if you're a leader, you must have followership and you must be able to get things done through people. Your leadership ability is the influence you bear on the people. It is your ability to help these men see what you see and to organize them in such a way, coordinate their effort in such a way, to inspire them in such a way, and motivate them in such a way that they will want to follow you through to the finishing line. So they must see before they can follow you. And that means you're going to hold vision meetings for the board, for the management, and then you need to look at the influencers. Some of the influencers may be gardeners. It might be time for you to get to know those who are influential within the organization and get them on board. And then you can go down to the divisions and the departments and make it as widespread as possible within the organization. Now, you need to communicate. Use the staff bulletin and other, that should be internal, not international, internal communication channels to be able to get the message out to them. Create pictures on the walls, on the boards, everywhere within the organization. Let them be so excited, about it. Wherever you turn, you just see it. Then reinforce the vision by reading it out, reading the statement out at every meeting. Every meeting. At the beginning of the meeting and at the close of the meeting, you just read out the vision statement. For the purpose of everyone, they will have made copies out, and then they will just share it out. And we read it out, and at the end, you read it again, and then you hand it over back. You can't do that many times before it sticks, at the back of your mind. You just know that it's something new that is happening here. And then you got to get progress report. If it's a cathedral you are building, they see the level that you have reached in fundraising, the level you have reached in building the project, and everybody is ecstatic. So they will be able to see, oh my goodness, it's already half full, it's already 3/4 full. And they become positive about it. But do that not only as pictures, do it as words in bulletins and as text, wherever it is that you need to do. Okay. I think you have heard about think before. That is the think part, not the tablet that IB ultimately developed, but it came as a result of that. But it actually came from one of their CEOs, Watson, who had a slogan, and he embossed the slogan "Think" on metallic object, on brass, I think, and then caused them to be reproduced several times over, and they were pasted at strategic parts of the company, so much that outsiders began to ask for it. This was a reflection of Watson's vision of engaged and intelligent worker. So that each time you turn your back, or you look to your front, you look sideways, you see the word think. We need to do that. We need to do that. The key words will be relate to people so that you can get your information across to them. And you have to repeat over and over and over. And of course, you've got to report so that you can fire them on and they can see how much progress you've made. And then you can move from there on to achieve. Finally, you need to take it. I like the way Steve Jobs put it. He said, if you're working on something exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. You can't have a vision and not act on it, except it's not a compelling, engaging vision. That vision is going to push you. Vision without execution is hallucination. And I'm sure you don't want to hallucinate. Some dream of success while other people get up every morning and make it happen. So you've got to make it happen. The vision must be followed by venture. It is not enough to state up, all of the things you want to do without taking any action about that. If you want to turn a vision into reality, you've got to give 100% and never stop believing in your passion, patience, persistent, profit. It follows in that order. You've got to be passionate about what you do. You must be patient to be able to see it through. And you must persevere, be persistent through challenges and difficulties. I hope you know that every vision is like swimming against the current. And in that middle of the sea where you are, there are sharks that are willing to eat you up. But the confidence that you have that you will reach the shore, the confidence that you have that this is worthwhile, when it is all done, it will be worth every effort, will make you go through every challenge. The profit, which is not only to you, but to the community or to the organization, will be worth it. So step out and do that today. Well, that will require that you dream big, set goals, and take action. Now you need to have long-term, short-term goals. How do you achieve this? Because every vision is the big picture. And you start with the first step. What do I need to do today? Well, that's not the first thing. Okay. What do I need to achieve in 5 years? What do I need to achieve in 10 years? What do I need to achieve this year? What do I need to achieve this quarter? What do I need to achieve this month? What do I need to achieve this week? What do I need to achieve today? That's the way it's done. But beyond the ordinary goals is what we call the BIODUN goals. The big, hairy, audacious goals. These are big and hairy. Hairy is unbelievable things that you cannot easily think possible. And audacious breaks limits, pushes frontiers, challenges status quo, and does it in such a way that is alarming. A true BIODUN is clear and compelling and serves as a unifying focal point of effort, often creating immense team spirit. It has a clear finish line so the organization can know when it has achieved the goal. People like to shoot for finish lines because of the BIODUNs. Let me give you examples of some BI goals that this world has seen. Become the company that most changes the worldwide image of Japanese products as being of poor quality. This was in 1950s. And Japanese was like still the Chinese products. Oh, made in Taiwan. Not anymore, you and I know. And guess who was at the front of that? Sony in year 50. When Sony said that in 1950, nobody believed them. It was too audacious to be believed. It's like you say, Nigeria will be the greatest nation on earth. How many people would believe that? A computer in every home and on every desk. That was what Microsoft started with in the beginning of their vision. As at this time, there were only less than a dozen mainframe computers all over the world. And then you're going to have a computer on every desk and in every home. Now we take computers for granted, but it started with a vision. And you remember in May 5, 1961, Kennedy made this impassionate appeal to the Congress of the United States. We're going to put a man, that should be a man, on the moon by the end of the decade. As at that time, The astronauts have only been able to spend a maximum of 15 minutes on the moon. And that's amazing. The 1900, at that time, it only belonged to the elite. And there was no way anybody else can ride a car because it has to be factory fitted, and there was no mass production. You are riding a car today because somebody dreamed of democratizing automobile. My friends, keep on dreaming. And if you're going to have any dream at all, make sure it's big. Dream so big that it's bound to fail unless God made Dr. Edmond Agia. And like Richard Branson said, if your dreams don't scare you, they are damn too small. So make this decade a dream come true for you and for the society. Thank you all. I appreciate you for the time. And God bless you.
Thank you. Great. What a very engaging time. Thank you, Engineer BIODUN FIJABI. This is amazing, amazing. Please, on your behalf, please permit me to give him a standing, although I'm sitting, ovation, and some of you are already doing that. Giving him thank you. Really, this has been a worthwhile session, great time. I can tell you that this is so far the highest in terms of participation. Our capacity was overstretched and we had to move to YouTube. Thank you, Engineer BIODUN FIJABI. What a session. On vision, limitations answer only to imagination. Limitations answer only to imagination. Imagination is more superior. And that reminds me when Barack Obama was looking for the opportunity of being the first African-American, the first Black person actually, in the White House. A colleague of mine in the office said, what do they call it, White House? And you want a Black guy there? I told him that dreams, imagination is more superior to facts. And the rest is history. In over 200 years of American history, he became the first African to be the president. Engineer FIJABI, I'm tempted to call you professor, and I want to say a huge that was very, 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 very professorial. I'm very of particular usage. Now let's go to, we have people from Chicago, and I know the place is covered in snow. Thank you. I think it's Mr. Adewale joining us from Chicago from all over the world. I want to welcome you. Also, Nana from Ghana. Nana Ohene is from Ghana. All right. Please, we're sorry for those who were not able to join us. Greetings from our king today, Bola Ayelola from United Kingdom, from London. Thank you very much for joining us. Reverend Professor Mark Great Ihile from Benin, Nigeria. Thank you very much for joining us. These are people who put comments, and I think it's just fair, to have all of these messages and then the questions. All right. From Chicago, that's Bayo Adewale. Thank you very much. Ask why not is the key to creative uniqueness. That's from Professor Hile. Bayo Adewale also posted right thinking turns problem to opportunities. That is a takeaway that we can also look at. Filling the gaps makes everyone outstanding, not only scholars. And that is coming from a professor, he's just saying that you can do much more than just being academic about issues. You can also take practical solutions. Joey Bidon, he said some people, thank you for telling us that some people were still in the waiting room. When the 100 limit was over, we had to move people to the YouTube. Limitations answer only to the imagination. That's from Soji Eluwale. Thank you very much for bringing that. In reality, you can turn limitations to strength. Prof, there again, Professor Ihile. I just look at also in reality can turn limitation to tangible strength. It's also said that Ademola additional agrees with him. Seeing through the power of imagination breaks any form of limitation. Great. That's from Shola Olabi. Bola Ilola, knowledge is acquired through training and externally generated, but imagination is acquired. It's not acquired. It is internally generated. Thank you for this summation. Quality relationship is key. That's right, Prof. Vision pools, yes. Yes, sir. Chris Mene, vision without execution is hallucination. Also, from attendant is really nice. That's from Bola Lola. And I tell you, it could have been more than that. We just have to move people for YouTube. We need to expand your capacity. Once we have people like you coming, Saturday in, Saturday out. Thank you, BIODUN FIJABI, for this thought-provoking seminar. God bless you, sir. Bayo Adewale. Thank you. Dr. BIODUN FIJABI is already been given a honorary doctorate already. Now, someone is asking a question, and there might be people that one or two people that might want to intervene. Lagos celebrated the life of Lateef Jakande. That's from Muiwa Alabi, a man whose footprints time may not be able to wash off. Sir, why is it difficult to replicate the feat of men like this, let alone surpassing it? What's the missing link? Let me see whether I can get any other questions so that you can take all the questions. Engineer FIJABI, this is from Professor Ihile. This is quite deep, very professional, with the tongue of the learned. Superb delivery. Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you for your movie. Bayo Bankole, thank you and God bless you, sir. Great one, sir. Many thanks. That's from Soji Eluwale. Wow. Again, Bola Ayilola, brilliant presentation. Outstanding and outstanding. Bola Shukoya, very profound. What a great session. Shola Olabi, awesome. Yomi Peters. Olukemi Lawanson, Professor. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. This is really profound. That's a professor of economics. Awesome moment. Akintude Alabi, Emmanuel Ago. Thank you. Thank you very much joining us, Emmanuel Ago. God bless and replenish you, sir, in Jesus' name. That's Bola. Tommy now, and let's see. Cast, Father Emmanuel, this is deep. Thank you so much. So can you answer this question? Why can't we have men like Lateef Jakande, the one-time governor of Lagos State, who disrupted everything? He was heavily criticized initially, but time has proved him right in his decision. He was seen to be populist, but he was no doubt visionary. So how can we have people like this? Please.
In a nation like ours, where motivation is lacking in terms of, apart from psychological obstacles, apart from psychological obstacles, which you have to be able to overcome, lead to dream, there are physical, unnecessary obstacles that are put on your way. I want to say that you need stronger motion to be able to dream big and to be able to push through your ideas. But I've always believed that where the need is strongest, that's where leaders are better celebrated. And so I like to use this medium to challenge each and every one of us, because the darkest of night always precedes, the brightest day. In our nations, we have darkness all over the place. Can we allow God to work on the inside of us and strengthen us enough, motivate us enough to hit the road with some outlandish visions that only He can achieve through us, and that will turn around and rewrite the history of our nations, of our companies, of our families, and of our lives. If we are waiting for motivation within the environment, we will never get it. We must be part of the endangered species that are looking on the inward to derive their motivation, not from the governor, not from the political leaders, sometimes not even from the religious leader. There's something that must be a weight that we carry, a weight of who we are, who God has made us. And we are passionate about that enough to be able to move on to different levels of the development of our vision without letting go. So we can produce more of him. It will take men of steel to do it. And they are here. They are here on this platform today. They are here everywhere in this country. All they need is the right spirit to do it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kende Lansing, I want to intervene, and then we can, go back to the comments. Thank you very much, Mr. FIJABI. Mr. Lansing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ojo. David, thank you very much for this presentation. Well, I thank God that God has still kept your strength in articulation and erudition. Thank God for that. I have a comment. I don't know whether it's a question or a comment. I listened very carefully to the well-researched and well-prepared presentations you have had for us today. Now, I start by making reference to a television interview I watched many, many years ago. It was 15, 20 years now or more, much more than that. Larry King was interviewing Margaret Thatcher on the subject of her vision and her leadership style. I cannot remember exactly the way Larry King framed his question, but till the day I die, I remember the response that Margaret Thatcher gave. Margaret Thatcher said, consensus is a negation of leadership. Consensus is a negation of leadership. Now, how does a visionary leader who is so clear about his vision, you have said so much about vision today, a visionary leader who is so clear about his vision, how does he prevent that vision being held hostage by followers in the name of consensus? Well, okay, just sell it, let everybody buy in. Whereas some people will never buy in. How does a visionary leader who is very clear about his vision, how does he not become an autocrat, a dictator, all kinds of epithets I can call him, because of the clarity of his vision? That's my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lansing. Let me extend that before Engineer BIODUN FIJABI will answer. Mr. Lansing had asked this type of question before in terms of Steve Jobs' leadership style. People who work with him said he was very, very, he suffered no fools gladly, and he was able to achieve. The achievement is still with us, in spite of the fact that he has, has left us, he has departed. So, how do you create a balance between almost a seemingly autocratic approach to leadership in terms of vision and, carrying people along? I'm just extending that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, this is very important. One of the major challenges of leadership is the management of human differences. And in the past, I used to think that human differences are a drawback to leadership endeavors. But when I discovered that 9 billion of us, and all of us have unique identities, I think the problem is on God's lap. So if we really are serious about uniformity, we should go to where God can be found, and we should punch him in the nose and let him know that we want to be uniform so that we can all be the same. So if God has made us different, there must be some strength in that in that difference. And so when we have to look for consensus, yeah, especially in political parlance, yeah, that's important. And in also in big corporate bodies where there are so many self-interest. So this becomes difficult. But in entrepreneurship, where you are the master, that becomes easier, and the force of your vision can carry through, and you can be able to force through your ideas and be as benevolent as you are, as you want to be, but autocratic in the way you go about things. But you know you can do that as in big organizations. Otherwise, you will be booted out. You know, and like Kendi, we always say you need to be at the door. You need to be in the room where decisions are made. So you don't want to be out of the room where decisions are made. So what does it mean to us as leaders if we have to deal with the issue of consensus? We have to be able to know, what can they take? Who are they? What can they take at this time? Right, let's start with that. But you still have the big picture. And then you move another step after they have taken that. And another step, and another step, and another step until you get it. It is just not enough a challenge for a leader to throw his hand in the air and say, consensus has killed me, or I had a good idea, but look at what consensus has done. Oh, you people of this country, I will have done a lot of work for you, but it was consensus. So they will say, was consensus there when we were voting? We voted for you, not for consensus. You are the number one in this country. Go and kill consensus if you must kill it. But you know, within the democratic setting, you can't kill it. We saw what happened in the US elections recently. It's the triumph of democracy, democratic ideals. No matter how well-intentioned you are, you have to work with people. And to the extent to which people follow you, to that extent, are you a leader?
Engineer FIJABI, the boss room is awash with comments, very, very positive comments. Sometimes a vision, this is coming from Father Emmanuel, sometimes a vision seems boiling in heart, but sometimes it dies down with time. What's the cost? This is coming from Father Emmanuel. Let me see whether I can get another question so that I can take that together. Spark Go says, thanks, Engineer BIODUN FIJABI. Missed a great deal because network kept yanking me off. But I got, wow, my take. Keep speaking it to yourself. Abimbola Ade Phillips. The person also said, Mr. Ojo, you need to bring him back sometime. So now, Engineer FIJABI, I haven't said this. This is coming from the platform. So if I harass you again, don't say Tunde Ojo has come again. There is a need for you to come back and do the unfinished task. Not because you have failed the exam the first time, like in Nigerian parlance, but because this platform needs you. Nigeria needs you. Our world needs you. Thank you. So can you take that?
Yeah,
can you take that question?
Important for us to
and
know.
then start wrapping up.
Yeah.
Is that wrapping up?
I think it's important for us to know that a vision has a life cycle, and just like a product. Like a product, you have a product cycle. You have marriage cycle. All right. My wife will quickly say that what we are enjoying today, we didn't enjoy in the first 5 years of our marriage. We were just watching each other, and who is this girl entering into my space and then trying to force her way? The way a woman behaves. A woman, is territorial, and then you are part of the territory as the man. And then
I'm going to protect our interest.
But you could see the way God has helped us over the years. It's because our marriage has gone through a cycle, and we're still improving by the day. Now, it's the same with a vision. A vision comes in, and it is so energizing. It's all embracing. You're so excited about it. You're so eager to see it through. And at some point, it looks like it's dead. Visions hardly die except the visionary abandons them altogether by reason of the challenges. At any particular point, they can be taken up again. So if you have a vision that is in a cooler by reason of a particular challenge that cannot be surmounted now, you might need to wait for a couple of years for a solution to come that will make that easier to be able to do. It might be a breakthrough in medicine. It might be a breakthrough in science. It might be a new legislation that will open it up, and then you'll be able to draw the vision from the back burner, put it in the front burner. But what you must never stop doing is working on it, seeking information. A friend of mine started a business, and the wife said, no, it will not work. And the wife, the wife stood against it for 10 years, but he never stopped thinking about the business. By the time the wife agreed, the business took on a new turn, and he had already packaged it better to be able to persuade his wife to go along with him. And today they are hugely successful in what they're doing. But look at the 10 years in which the vision seems to have died by reason of the wife not getting along with him. So that vision, take it up, continue to do something on it every day, every week, every month, no matter how little that is. Someday, the challenge will dissipate. It's either you dissipate it or God or the environment dissipate it for you by reason of a change in taste, consumer activities, or whatever it is, or it could be macro economy, whatever it is, just affects it, and then you now have to take advantage of it. So every vision is for an appointed time.
Yeah. Engineer FIJABI, I'm sorry, I may have to stop you. The boss room, the chat room is our boss, and we need to finish this in another 10 minutes or 15 minutes maximum. Wumi Adeni is saying certainly you must come back. So much to learn from you to pick. John Olule is saying succinctly delivered. Uncle BIODUN, ever so green, Dr. Adeto Mustafa. Indeed, if God has made us different, there is strength in that. And I think he or she has followed up to say, how can we accommodate consensus in decision making in the church? Is it compatible with leaders' tendency to be accountable only to God? I think this is the question that I think is important. Then, another one, we may not be able to take others because we are going to have an after party in which we can banter for a couple of minutes. What happens in the public sector where you have undue interference from government? Can a visionary leader succeed? Can you take on these two questions? And then, we're up to a close, and then we have the after party in which we can banter. Thank you very much, Engineer FIJABI.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by Tom's question. She always asks difficult questions, the kind that will throw you off balance. Well, that is celebrating you, Tom. Is not anything else. I could see the smiley, Tom. I've seen that. Okay, come on. Now, look, even God's work, which has to be done by people who are volunteers, because you don't pay these people, and they are men of faith and women of faith like you, there is an extent to which you can be a boss. You have to be more of a leader than be a boss. You owe them explanation for your actions. I know the pastor who said, I don't care about what I say. I don't give a damn to what anybody thinks about what I say in the church. When I stand up to speak, I speak as God's oracle, and nobody has the right to challenge me. 3, 4, 5 years after the church was no more, I knew he was going to have a challenge. Because you're dealing with people, not machines. And people have minds of their own. God created them uniquely to have minds of their own. They need to be persuaded to give to a cause. They need to be persuaded to go on evangelism. They need to be persuaded to give of their time and of their resources. And the more you are able to influence them, the better. And we're talking about leadership not being a boss here. Leadership is influence. So influence might require a level of consensus building to be able to achieve. So the church has a place there. As for the public sector, it's a tough call. I have run seminars for a lot of public organizations, and I know that a lot of them are bubbling with ideas, and they are wondering how they're going to sell the ideas when a note can come from a minister saying that will not work. Give the job to someone else. And that to kill the leadership spirit, the visionary in me. I will keep trying. And as I'm bounced back, I will try again. Bounced, I will try again, and I will try again. And we all agreed it's going to be tough. We both agreed. We all agreed it's going to be tough. I've had several sessions with them, and we all agreed it's going to be tough. But then we came to the conclusion that there are some times when they don't see. But we already imagined that they were going to see and that they were going to intervene. And we also now took the thing to them and said, this is what we are trying to do. Do you have any input? Do you have a contractor to do this? And so sometimes out of fear, we are the ones inviting them. At least that's one of the conclusions we reach. So wherever we can get a leeway, let's do it. The leadership spirit in each of us must not die. It is, nobody must be allowed to kill it. Not the president of the United States, not the president of Nigeria, not a senior pastor of a church, not anyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you, BIODUN FIJABI. We can go on and on. Time is of the essence, and we want to keep this short as well as sweet. I must say a huge thank you to you on behalf of my entire team at Touchstone Business Sustainability Series, the platform by an initiative of Touchstone, a brand strategy and marketing communication consulting firm, as well as Master Scale Consulting. We are very, very, very glad. And all the participants on this platform, you are highly honored. You are highly welcome. I want to thank you for making this very insightful interaction. Thank you very much for your intervention. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your comment. Mr. Ayola, I'm sorry I mispronounced your name. Thank you for correcting me. I want to say this holds every Saturday at 3 p.m. and the maximum 4:30 we're done. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 4:15. And it's all about looking for solution for businesses to survive and also to thrive. How leaders can become leaders. This is focused, targeted at leaders in business, leaders in non-for-profit, brand managers, entrepreneurs, professionals, pastors, faith leaders, leaders from different, sphere of life. I want to say a big thank you to my colleagues, working Muiwa Alabi, Dipo Gudikwe, and tons of others who are working on this. I want to thank all the participants from academia, from business, from church, from non-for-profit, professionals, men and women. Thank you very, very much for joining us. Once again, my name is Tunde Ojo. I'm your host. And next Saturday, by the grace of God, we'll be here again talking about an important task. Now, Engineer BIODUN FIJABI, all you need to do is that we'll agree on the topic and the date. But as for whether you are coming back, this is everybody. I want to say that I'm speaking on behalf of everybody, that this consensus that we're going to have you back within a very, very short time. Thank you. So you can now you can unmute your video. You can say hi to a friend. And we hope this is a platform that can make all of us interact and connect, and through that communicate, and through that grow and thrive. Thank you. Thank you. You can unmute.
Thank you.
Want to say, yeah, thank you. You can use your video. You can thank him personally. you can banter in the next 5 minutes or so. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tunde, for putting up this program. Thank you so much. I'm joining in from London.
Thank you. Isaac, this below zero?
Today is warm today. It's about 7 degrees, and 7 degrees to us in London is very warm.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Uncle. I'd like to say a very big thank you
for sending the invite, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. BIODUN, FIJABI, thank God for your life. You are
Thank you
being a
so much,
blessing.
Mr. FIJABI.
You are just too much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
BIODUN FIJABI, thanks for the invite. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Lagos.
Thank you.
May the Lord honor
Thank you.
Joe, please unmute my video.
Today, God bless you all.
Joe, no closing prayer.
Thank you. God bless you, sir.
Fellowship.
Thank you so much, Uncle. Thank you, Uncle. God bless you.
Yes.
All right, show.
Thank you,
Engineer, Dr. Professor FIJABI. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Prof.
I was blessed. Professor Mark, thank you very much. Reverend Professor Mark, thank you. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Atutu, for putting this together. Even though we got the invitation from Engineer FIJABI.
Thank you. Every Saturday, same time, 3 p.m. Nigerian time, West Africa.
Thank you, Mr. Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Lawrence, thank you. Fumi, thank you.
I hope Joe is there too. I saw him sometimes ago.
Thank you very much.
Mrs. Oshewa, thank you. Now, Hene Adu.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Professor Lawantin, Ezekiel Abasaya, Olajide Oshiberu,
Mr. FIJABI.
Tolu FIJABI, thank you.
Thank you, Tolu. Thank
you.
Mr. Ojo, kindly unmute my video.
Engineer FIJABI, speak like a pro. One of your students is here.
Who is that?
Dr. Neil Barrier. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the lecture. Really inspiring.
Engineer FIJABI, thank you.
Thank you so very much. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for
How are you? You're looking really good.
On behalf of our speaker, Engineer, this has been Touchstone Business Sustainability Series 35. This is the 35th in the series. And I tell you, if you've not been joining us, I can tell you that you are missing a great deal. Join us again on Saturday. And on that note, I'd like to say, have a wonderful and a blessed weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Bye. Thanks so much. Bye.